Hi guys, welcome back to another quick card pull. This is being filmed on Sunday, June 28th, 2026. Today we're pulling from the Astrology Answers Tarot cards. So the night before the full moon, full strawberry moon, Aya Wisdom was talking about some anxiety there. I wasn't able to sleep, so I got up and I was just like kept myself busy. So I got quite a few things done. So, it was cool enough to go for a walk. So, you know what I mean? I feel like it's like instead of laying there tossing, turning, and making it worse, feeding it. And the number one thing is to remind yourself when you're going through those things that you are safe. Everything's going to work out. Whomever you believe in, give it up to the higher. Like, you know what I mean? I can act a fool, but I'm not going to. I'm a certain way, and it's just like when people do things that they know purposely aggravate others, it's just like, what is wrong with you? You know what I mean? So, it's going to be interesting, never to say the least, you know what I mean? But it's like, with no harm to none. I don't wish nobody harm. Just leave me alone, kind of thing. But we have the Eight of Wands, something coming out of the blue in 3 weeks' time. So this could, Amber Land Tarot was talking about a soulmate coming in, and she was talking about there's different ways of soulmates. So I definitely feel like fur babies are soulmates. I definitely feel like your kids could be soulmates in that way. And it's like you just connect. You guys think the same way. Like you have a lot of things in common. You make each other laugh. You enjoy each other's company. You know what I mean? It's just like when you're able to be in someone's company, like, my friend Ryan posted, if you don't bring this energy to my life, like, no. No. You know what I mean? It's just like, all of us vent and do all the things. You know what I mean? The one song that was coming up when I was pulling this was Under Pressure. Lovely vocals by, Freddie Mercury and David Bowie, and it's just, it's a great song. So where it's just, they're talking about under pressure, and there could be a lot of things that can invoke and bring up those anxieties. So it's like a gentle reminder again, when they're telling you rest and rejuvenation, to definitely, keep that in mind, to take care of yourself, drink your water. Like myself, I could have tossed and turned. It just was making it worse. 222 on the timer. So 3 is wisdom. I think it's 2 is like you're being supported. It's like it's all on my phone, so it's like hard to see those things. Now I can see why some people have like a filming phone and then like their personal phone. But you know what I mean? It's just reminding ourselves, like, this too shall pass, when these kind of things come up. And it's nothing I did, not that I know of, but I just feel like it's like, have some, common courtesy. This is a great reminder that things are working out in your favor. The sun, like the sunflowers surround this card, so too will success surround you, and this is like the grounding energy. So like I was saying, I'm still doing like meditations because I've heard this a couple times. Like we were talking, like I've heard that retrograde, does, bring on, and there's a way to kind of like ease it. So like grounding ourselves, and that's the, if you're making moon water, the moon is so, and they said this with if you look up the strawberry moon, it's lower lining to like the horizon. It doesn't get high peak in the sky. So when I saw it last night behind the tree, I was like, oh, gotta make moon water. Some things were going on. And then I was like, oh, I guess I'll go up. But I didn't see the moon. So I'm just like, you know what I mean? So I'll try again tonight. But which I'm thankful for, because it usually is like 45. So it's like usually like 86 plus at this time of year. I'm thankful for the cooler temperatures, because I am not a fan of the hot temperatures. Like, even today, like getting close to like maybe 80, 82, it was just like, ugh. Doing all the things I was doing, especially cooking, I'm just like, oh my word. Nobody wants to cook in that kind of heat. King of Pentacles, let the universe fill your cup. You know what I mean? And I'm like, what can I do to, because this time of year, we're usually going to French Fur Cove and this and this and this. And, unfortunately, due to an injury, we're not doing those things. You know what I mean? So it's just like, like I said, like 8 o'clock this morning, it was really beautiful out. I am not starting any habit of getting up at 8 o'clock in the morning to walk. Like, you know what I mean? But I was mindful. I was just like, I did some yard work, and I'm just 444. We always get 444. It's like I purposely, like, like subconscious, like, look at the timer. But it's like I was being mindful. I was just like, what is appropriate time to, like, You know what I mean? Because a lot of people, maybe Sundays their only sleeping day, and it's like I didn't have much weed eating to do, but or weed whacking, whatever you call it, but I didn't want to disturb anyone. You know what I mean? Because some people were, some people may be sleeping in, so I went ahead and did take care of that. Trimmed back the tree a little bit in the driveway because it's like touching cars now, so it's just like trimming up a little bit. But I got quite a few things done. But one thing I was like, oh, that would have been nice, to go for a quick walk. I feel like a key point here, like they're showing eating fruits and vegetables and stuff like that. We were talking about that, like being more lighter on your feet and stuff like that. But I feel like it's like doing what resonates with you. And that's why I'm saying take whatever I say with a grain of salt, whatever that means to you. From the past, and obviously, we're older and things have changed, but, whatever resonates with yourself and your body and your mind, body, and spirit, whatever you need right now, I feel like is what you need to do for yourself. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Especially if you're someone that, takes care of others. I love the fact that the Ace of Cups is like right after the King of Cups, because it's like, let the universe fill your cup. And this is where, and I'm thankful for the people that, like, I am, like, honestly, like, they're just amazing because they understand when I tell them that I'm busy and I can't read for them right away. They're like, no problem, whenever you have a moment. You know what I mean? And it's just like, they know if I ask them for a moment, they know that it's like, she's going to deliver something good and worthwhile. And you know what I mean? Like, she's going to put her all into it because she's not just reading for me for the sake of reading and I'm like, no, because I would want the same courtesy. I've had this happen to me and I was not happy about it, and I would never want to do that to anyone else. You know what I mean? So sometimes when we go through experiences, it's like you don't realize why you are, but it's just like, oh, that's why. You know what I mean? But that's something I take pride in, is how I treat people that I read for, because these are people that we pour into each other's cup. Like, she was like, your messages resonate with me. I'm like, what you do resonates with me as well. Like, quoting her back, like not verbatim or anything like that, but I'm just like, you say this and it resonated with me so much. You know what I mean? And it's just like, sometimes that's what you need in your life. It's just to surround yourself or just be quiet and listen. Because it's like, you're asking questions, you're asking for help, you're asking for answers, and they come in all these shapes and forms. But I feel like these are multiple things, especially peace is a big thing for me, because I'm someone that likes their peace, you know what I mean? Like, like we're singing, they're singing the song Under Pressure, and it's like, if you have a lot going on, you don't want anyone disturbing what peace you have at that moment. You know what I mean? Where you find your zen, where you find your wusao, it's just like invoking things that make sense to you, invoking things that resonate with you, invoking things that make you feel good, with no harm to none. And that's why I feel like it's just open your hands to receive. I feel like lotus flowers are very significant. I feel like maybe you got the seeds and, I think it was on TikTok they were showing it. You shave down the seed and then you place them in water and they grow. We actually did this. I think I transferred mine a little too soon. I think that's why mine didn't grow bigger. But I still have the seed, so maybe I'll start that again. I like to see that. It was beautiful. I really liked it. I feel like this is where they're like, when I'm saying like 8 of Wands, when they're saying 3 weeks time, I feel like when we're pulling in this, like, holding everything close to our chest in a fear of losing it, and I feel like this is where Spirit is like, you have nothing to fear, my darling. We're always pouring into your cup. Like, I was talking about that. I think I was talking about that in the personal reading I did last night. I was just like, like literally saw, like, and it worked out. Like, what are you panicking about? You know what I mean? And it's not running you down or anything. It's just like, we have to learn to trust. You know what I mean? Like, and I was even saying that. I was like, I know every time when things are like this, something comes in. And they do. You know what I mean? And it's just like, if you're a good person and you're always trying to bring in, kind of going to the Bohemian Rhapsody, like happy thoughts, happy feelings, happy good deeds, good thoughts. You know what I mean? Like, I understand where the dad was coming from. You know what I mean? Because like all that's what we want for our kids, even for ourselves, is to be the best that we can be with what we have at that moment. You know what I mean? We don't have to solve the world's problems, but we can pray for the world's problems to end. You know what I mean? There's certain things that we can do that a lot of us don't do, but I feel like bringing this smaller to home where, under pressure or feeling that anxiety, it's just like, it's not easy to you know what I mean? Like right now we're going through the kids' toys, and you know, where we used to live, like at the building when we lived in it, when we moved from up north and got moved closer to Shane's job downtown, it was just like, you know, we were able to bring it, put in the laundromat, and they were able to, you know, take the toys from there, or we would put them at the side of the building where the donation bin was. So other kids in the building can make like love into those toys, you know, like Toy Story. You know, teach them from a young age, and they'll always do those sorts of things. Bringing love into the world, it's like, you know, that kind of made the kids' day. I know this is easier said than done, but I feel like because of the energies of the Pluto retrograde and Mercury, I just feel like everything is high on charge. I feel like with the purge, people, places, and things, I feel like also purges of things that, and hear me out on this, with the Four of Pentacles, things that we believe, and who said this? I believe it was Anastasia. What happened before, and Reiki Healing Hope, they both said it like days apart from each other, or the same day. I'm sure that I saw one after the other, but same message. What happened before is not what's happening now. You know what I mean? In my case, it's where like I'm in control of the situation on a bigger level, and it's like I make sure, and I'm very thankful for my aunt for that, because she taught me when I lived with her, that you always take care of your bills first, and whatever is left over is your mad money. And I have invoked that in my kids. Like, you got to take care of your things first, then the rest is for play, and you know, save for a rainy day. You know, so it's like teach them young. You know what I mean? Because especially if, you know, unfortunately you weren't taught those things, it's just like, you know, now you can bring those habits into your life. You're never too old to learn new lessons, and you can I threw out my paper that I wrote on, but you know, I feel like that's what they're trying to say, is like that purge also is beliefs that don't belong to you, or feelings that shouldn't belong to you. Like we talked about that before, like we are so quick to look out into the world. And one thing that I was told to me, or like told to the group rather, in a grief group, is that, you know, God didn't carry us this far only to carry us this far. So put word that in what I feel like in life, they show us patterns, and it's like, you know, you always succeed no matter what. Like it may not be, sometimes it's not exactly how we wanted the turnout to be, but nevertheless, you know, here you are, and you know, in some sort of way, it may not, maybe at the moment you wanted to turn out a certain way, and I feel like that's where spirit is like, but you know, maybe down the line when you're ready to know that truth, that information will be revealed to you. So I feel like in any rate, it's like you are successful, you are protected, you have people that have your back. We have the Ten of Cups, so everything is lining up beautifully. Unconditional love. You are supported. You are loved. You are protected. You and your loved ones. You have an amazing heart. You know, sometimes life will be lifing, but like they said, under pressure. I feel like it's like kind of like a cheeky tone to it. It's like, you know, sometimes there is a lot of pressure in life, but especially with a lot of change going on, it's like, you know what I mean? Like you will wrap your head around it. You will be successful. Like this new, like, you know, we were talking about, you know, literally the next card, where it's this new mountain to ascend. You know, you see the mountains in the background, like, you know, Storm from Below Deck Med said this perfectly. This is a while ago. This is probably 5 years ago, maybe. Talking about how becoming a bosun, he had the worth ethic, but there was more to, like, you know, more finessing to go along with it. So with my situation, I'm like, I'm not, you know, computer savvy by any means, but I am a go-getter. I am determined, and you know, today was the first day actually dealing with it, and it wasn't as bad. It's just like getting familiar with everything, and it's like anything, the more you put your energy into it, the more repetitive you are with it, like it'll be seamless. It'll be like nothing, you know, soon. So I feel like that's where spirit is just like being kind to yourself. You know what I mean? This is the longest relationship you're going to have, besides with, if you have that relationship with Yahweh, Yeshua, divine creator, Gaia, Mother Earth, higher self. It's, just a reminder, be like, be kind to yourself. Like, things are working out. We may sit there and be like, how come it's not, coming to fruition? And it's like with one situation, and like they were like, it would have lasted 3 months maybe. So they were protecting us. 15 on the timer. So, you know what I mean? It's just like, yeah, Yahweh and Yeshua know I like peace in my life. I'm not looking for chaos or any of that garbage. We have the Ace of Pentacles, so like this opportunity is coming in. It's like you've already put like this. They're showing the Seven of Pentacles in my mind's eye, where it's like you already put the manifestations out. You've already done like the salt and cinnamon ceremonies. That's coming up. There is a full moon ceremony calling in abundance. I know Aya Wisdom is saying like it's different. You know what I mean? You may feel that with the anxiety, or you know what I mean? You just feel anxious. But again, nevertheless, it's like you are being rewarded for the things that you've done. And that's not why we do things. You know what I mean? But it's just like, again, like you didn't come this far only to come this far. So like I was saying, like, universe keeps supporting you. Like, universe has your back. You're looking out in the future. The thing is, like, with my, like, did I even have today planned like that? I was like, no. We were supposed to go for a walk, and that didn't work out. And I'm kind of thankful it didn't, because my whole schedule was weird today. So I'm just like, whatever. Didn't expect it, but it's just like, I would like to get up at this time. Like, I did want to get up earlier so I could get the things done, some of the things done that I wanted to get done, but I even got more done. Like, you know how people put the foil on, like, how like you have 2 racks in the oven, and I have one as low as it could go. Then I have that foil, the flat foil that catches all the, if you're cooking anything, to keep the oven cleaner. But, and then I put the other one on top, so that way, you still have enough room in the oven to cook and everything. So I cleaned the oven today. I didn't expect to do that. You know what I mean? It's just, sometimes there's like little, like, that's what I feel like with the 7 of, not the 7, the star card, where they have the big star. So like a massive or something significant happens, and then you have all these little, blessings that come in. So it's just like, even in the chaos of the storm, there are still things to be thankful for. You know what I mean? It's just, you make plans. You're like, okay, I need to get this done, this, that, and then most of it gets done. You know what I mean? So it's like, you didn't plan for it. It just happened that way. But that's where I feel like universe is like, we have your back. You know what I mean? Even when you go through these times, like, even myself, like, I'm keep yawning. I keep pausing as I keep yawning, and I'm just like, you know what I mean? Hopefully I'll be tired enough tonight that I won't have this issue tonight. Like, I'll just sleep like a rock. And I was sleeping like a rock until that happened. It's just, I guess my arm was sore. The big 1.8 liters, the big jugs of water. I guess because picking the 2 of those up, usually it doesn't bother me. But then my mom's cases, I don't know. My muscle was sore this morning. I feel like a lot of us feel like I said, the heaviness of the energy. And I feel like that's where Spirit was just like, you know what I mean? Like, this is starting, this storm. Remember, we were talking about the storm has moved on. So you start seeing the lining of the light of the sky. And that's just exactly what it's saying. The light is returning in. You know what I mean? That has shifted off. So one thing is catching yourself putting your energies into stupid situations. Like with myself, they're like, shut up. Why are you putting energy into it? Didn't you learn from last time? We just came out of this. We had a week of rest. Why are we trying to bring it? Like, you know what I mean? So you got to watch that. Certain things will come to mind. Like, I do not like disrespect at all. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't do anything disrespectful. I feel like I'm very respectful. You know what I mean? And it's like, I understand boundaries. And it's just, some people are just, I don't know what the hell people's problems are, honestly. Spirit just gave me a great idea. I think I'm going to do that. I forgot about it. That's a good idea. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. 3 of Wands. Your ship is about to come in. Sorry, I keep yawning. But the universe supports you. Your ship this is where it's like paying attention to the ones that you see throughout your day. So 1, 11, 11, 11, 3 of Wands, 4 of Wands. So, just a reminder that Spirit has your back. They are with you. They show you, they try to communicate with you in all these little ways. Things to look forward to. Celebrations. Canada Day is Wednesday. July 4th, my son's birthday, my sister's birthday. There's still things to celebrate. You know what I mean? There's still things coming in. Even if they're small, it's just like, the fact that that got done, like, you know what I mean? Like the fact the kids are, purging through their toys, So it's just like, you know, it may not be for some people, it's like, oh, that's nothing significant. And it's like, well, maybe not to you, but just because it's not significant to someone else doesn't mean that it isn't significant to you. Like, don't let anyone steal away your light or thunder. They said thunder. So, you know, keep on feeding the positivity. Keep on feeding the light. Catch yourself when you find yourself feeding negative thoughts. And this is very important. When you find yourself napping and the need to rest and sleep, take that time to rest and sleep. Do not feel guilty, because we forget a lot of the time where we pushed and pushed and pushed and almost broke. The universe never lets you break. They're always there catching you and pushing you back up. But it's also important for you to rest and rejuvenate, even your mind. So with myself, I'm going to keep on doing meditation. You know what I mean? And it's like, if you feel like wearing your, or this is a great time to charge them too, your third eye necklaces, your rose quartz, your tiger's eye, your amethyst, your clear quartz, your smoky quartz, whatever resonates with you, whatever you're drawn to, and you feel like you need to have that, invoke some energy into your life to recharge yourself, do that. So I saw 1221, and then it was 2112. So there's a play on that number. And this is when they're saying King of Cups, let us fill your cup, this is what they're talking about. I'm going to give you a time to rest, you rest. I'm going to give you a time of understanding where it's like you are feeding into this energy. So you're actually stoking this fire. You're actually, by putting your energy into this, you're adding air into this situation. So I'm going to try this. I've never done this before, but I'm going to try it. You know what I mean? See what happens. But again, no harm to none. It's just, you know what I mean? Like, back off. Like, ugh. I'm not that person. It's just like, I'm not a part of all that garbage. Last card is justice. I feel like this is karmic justice, to be honest. You know what I mean? I just feel like it's just like, with no harm to none, but it's like, you're the person of balance. You're the type of person that, like Ryan was saying, if you don't bring, like they're all laughing and singing and having some good food, and you know what I mean? It's just like great company. If you're not bringing that into, my life, then there's the door. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're not welcome here. Like, I was even saying that this morning. This is a house of God. This is not a house of chaos. This is not a house of freaking, negative, disgusting energy. Like, you know what I mean? We just like to enjoy ourselves. We like to, you know what I mean? We don't go bugging nobody else. We keep to ourselves. We do our thing. You know what I mean? And it's just like, this is a very different year for us. But, you know what I mean? It's just, that's what I'm saying. It's like, watch who you surround yourself with. Watch who you let into your energies. Because, you know what I mean? It's like, life is too short to live this in that chaos. So I hope you enjoyed this quick card pull. May you have a beautiful, blessed week. Happy full moon. And we'll see you for the next quick card pull.